So you may have heard a few ways a death doula could be named. So death doula is one, end of life doula is another, or soul midwife, death midwife is another. But doula is the Greek word meaning one who helps, or female servant. A doula is generally a trained non medical professional of extraordinary compassion and kindness. The person brings emotional, practical, and unbiased support and expertise to those nearing death or who have even been diagnosed with a terminal illness such as cancer or dementia. The person is often called upon to provide guidance, comfort, calm support, and education for the dying person, the caregiver, and their families. The End of Life Doula Association of Canada is a self-regulated organization with their own scope of practice, vision, and mission, but they are not yet to be part, or they are not yet part of the standard support. Someone can hire a doula on a personal level, and that doula can then go into their homes and work with them into long-term care facilities or to a palliative environment or hospice as a private practitioner. The goal is to be a part of the healthcare circle. The doula's approach is holistic, individual, person-centered, quality care. End-of-life doulas are emerging as an important new form of community-based caregiving and support systems. So death work has been around since the beginning of time. But the very first formal use of the word doula to describe a specific end-of-life accompaniment was employed by the Doula to Accompany and Comfort program, a grassroots volunteer-driven model launched in 2001 through the New York University Medical Center's Department of Social Services. The aim of this was to focus on social, psychological, and spiritual needs of individuals who are at risk of isolation during the dying process. So you can look at end-of-life doulas, a midwife or a doula that we're more familiar with that brings people into the world. An end-of-life doula helps people with their journey out of the world. So why do people call us? The process of dying can span over days, weeks, months, and even years. Doulas, using a holistic approach, can help with supporting and planning for future planning for people with a diagnosis or illness. Doulas support dying with dignity and a good death. When someone is dying and the person or the people that love them are preparing to say goodbye, often fear, panic, and uncertainty and raw emotions are heightened. Decision making becomes very difficult during this time. A doula can provide the support and guidance to help them make it through. A doula can also provide much more than the comfort and support. They offer a safe place for people to say whatever they need to, whenever they need to. People call doulas because we consistently remind them they are not alone through this. Each doula brings a different set of skills, experience, talents, passions to their work. Some doulas work in hospice and palliative care. Some have private businesses with hourly rates. The End of Life Doula Association of Canada provides a referral service of trained doulas that you can look at in your area. Costs range from $45 to $100 an hour, depending on the service, location, duration. But many doulas offer packages as well. Some doulas may also specialize in dying and dementia care. So you may be wondering, okay, well, what kind of services does a doula offer? A lot of people think it just might be that end of life vigil component, but a doula can be accessed well before that. They can provide education about death and grief. By connecting early in the journey, this can help the dying and the caregiver prepare for anticipated life changes moving forward. They can help with personal planning and advanced care planning, such as power of attorney, will, and NBC are representative agreements. They can also help with having the discussion and learning more about medical assistance in dying or MAID. Often doulas early on support the family or the person dying with a life review. The life review are conversations that the doula may have with the dying person about the things that really made them happy in their life, or perhaps the things that were sad, or maybe things that they've had regrets. And sometimes these things are hard to talk to the people we love, or family, or our spouses. And when the dying person can speak to a doula and talk about maybe regrets or things they just need to get off their mind and need to tell somebody, the doula is a great option here. The doula can also do coordination of community resources, such as perhaps arranging extra supports for the home through nonprofit or private agencies, Meals on Wheels, other companionships or activities. They also can do facilitation and communication between family and friends. Sometimes family and friends are at a distance or are at odds about maybe what the dying person's plan is moving forward. The doula can also do aids of daily living, so such as bathing, dressing, toileting. They also can help with logistical matters, assist with setting up visiting hours, perhaps, so that the care partner or the spouse or family can rest and the person that is dying can rest. They can do shopping, errands, meal preps. They can offer transportation to appointments, also light household duties. They can provide respite care and companionship. And when we speak about supporting people with dementia, there is a time where respite care and companionship can become really important. And this is another option that you can use to support the person who's dying and has dementia. The doula can do education on what to expect when someone is dying, approaching the end as well. So the different phases of dying. They can do planning and organizing and also sitting vigil. They could provide holistic supports to the dying by healing touch, music therapy, animal therapy, whatever the person's preference would be. They provide education on after death care of the body, after death support notifications, communicating with funeral directors. They can help in obituary writing and provide the needed support. They could provide support with the funeral home, and that might be the day of the funeral. They can help in creating rituals and ceremonies and making sure that the families can do their ceremony and their ritual. So, work with hospice and maybe hospital teams to ensure the person gets what they need. They can work with family on funeral plans and with the person who is dying. A doula works on legacy projects with the dying. And maybe that legacy is through their art or creating a cookbook for family. Perhaps it's personal stories that they want to share and pass down, or the history of when they were young. They also support the removal of online identity and social media accounts after death. And many times we don't think about this, to close mom's Facebook account, Instagram, all those sort of things.